There are few things in life that can truly bring us together. Few things that can lift us to our feet and bring us to our knees. Few things that can be analyzed, internalized, socialized, even spiritualized. It gives us identity. It gives us purpose. It makes us believe. There's nothing better. To the sickos, the diehards, the supporters, the hooligans, to the rowdiest, the most obsessed, the fans. For us and all those like us, it will always be sports over everything.
You can see right there, it's not just the Rangers who have big changes on the horizon. Here at DLLS, we have big changes too. Not that big. I mean, the skipper's here out of necessity today. This is Skipper Ben. We've talked about him so often. If you haven't seen him, Ben Rebstock, and a long time. Ben and I have been friends for 20 years.
At least.
More?
At least, yep.
Worked with Bennett Valley for years and years, and he runs this place now, and he's doing such a great job that we are growing, expanding, and changing some of our marketing and some of our nomenclature to where sports over everything, Rangers over everything, Cowboys over everything, right? And look, pick this up and read anything else besides sports on here, and you want to throw it out a window. But sports, Ben, sports. Great.
It's first off, Jeff is at home.
Yeah, get better.
Get
Jeff.
Better, Jeff.
He's feeling punked today.
I got the what you gave the tap to Kat.
Yeah.
And Kat got on the bullpen phone.
Yep.
Called me, and I'm in. So I hope it's okay.
It'll be great.
All right. We'll get all right.
And Ben, look.
Hopefully I can shut down the ninth, and thinking of a baseball term I can use there, but I don't want to blow the save.
He was Rangers when we were at Valley. He's a big-time fantasy player. He plays in a league with people. I think the entry fee is $1 million.
You're with a GM that did not trade Marcus Semien in this offseason.
He didn't trade Marcus.
Still have
Semien.
Marcus on my team.
He's a GM, but he didn't trade Luka Doncic.
I did not trade.
He did, and he did not trade Jeff Wilson either because he's good, but he ain't.
I thought about it a couple times.
Yeah, he's wanted to. He's wanted to. The Cat's here too. The Queen's over there as always, taking care of business. So, but yeah, I mean, look, there's so much. Crap out there. So that's what I've always loved, and is just being able to focus on sports.
This is like the official new motto that we're going out with from the ALLCITY network, all 5 of our markets going with this, but it's really nothing new to us. It's nothing new to anybody in our chat. This is what we do. This is what we live for. I've got my Rangers shirt on right now to talk Rangers. Underneath that, I got my Chelsea jersey on for the game that's at 1:30 here right after this, so no spoilers in the chat on goals. After that, I'll probably go home and put a Stars jersey on to watch the Capitals Stars game. This is what we do. This is what we live for. These are the things that drive our day. These are things that unite us across the board, and putting it under the banner of sports over everything, just kind of the perfect moniker to show that.
Yeah, it is. It's what we all live for, right? I mean, and we're blessed. All of us that do sports for a living, not that there aren't other things involved in the jobs we do, but when we do sports for a living, it's pretty easy for it to be sports over everything. For you, often sports is like that diversion, man. It's that getaway, but it's still that for us. And one of my stories about how much I've loved sports over the years, Ben, goes all the way back to when I was still at Channel 5. And they liked me a lot at Channel 5. I was in my late 30s, I think, and they really liked the work I did. And they were saying sports in a local newscast is going away. And they still say that, and sports is still there. Now, it's shrunken down from when I used to do 6 minutes a night, but it's still there, and good for them and good for my friends in sports. But they were saying sports is going away. We want you to be a news anchor.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. They had me read the news a couple of times on the morning show, and I thought about it, and I prayed about it. I called people, that were mentors and friends in the business, several of whom said, yeah, man, if they like you that much, you should take it. This is going to be good for you financially. You should do it. And then literally I remember sitting in my car crying, going, I don't want to give up sports.
Yeah.
I don't want to do news, right? This was and is my life. And at the time, this is in the late 90s, at the time, Fox Sports Net Southwest was just coming online. I had 1 year left on my contract, so I missed the first year of Fox Sports Net Southwest, but came in after 1 year, and then was 23 years or however long it was that we became Fox Sports Southwest, and then, I don't know, Fox Sports, and then Bally and whatever else we were. So anyway, there was like this conscious decision for me.
Yeah.
Like, you doing sports? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing sports.
And how lucky are we?
Oh, it's the greatest. And people say it, and it's not lost on people.
No.
I do know Mark Davis, all about Sports Zone. Good guy, really good guy. And I haven't seen him in a while. My hair color's changed a bit over the bit. You think so, T.O.? So is yours, by the way. I met you, T.O.
Your stories. I'm similar in a way that I've only known sports as a career.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a supporters club video. I'll do it one time. But my story of Mark Cuban was on the radio and said, email me. It was right after he bought the team. Email me. I want to know how I can do better for the fans, because obviously the Mavericks were. It wasn't necessarily Mavericks over everything in the 90s, because it was pretty terrible during that span. And then Mark bought the team, tried to improve it, put his email out there. I emailed at 2 a.m. Got a call at 8 a.m.
How old were you at the time?
I was 21.
Okay.
I was at TCU, and went and got an interview that next day and worked at the Mavericks, and have been in sports literally ever since. And so haven't known anything else but this. And so, it's a privilege to get to do what we do. But it's also very fun. I mean, like the banner says, sports over everything. My life revolves around sports. Your life revolves around sports. Everybody in the chat revolves around sports. Kat is as big a sports fan as we have in here, and it goes across the board. We I saw you on Monday, and the first thing you do, poke your head in the office, and we're already talking trash about Man City and Chelsea. Like, all of us, we love this. We love what we do, and so it's really cool that we got to relaunch with the new slogan. You'll see it across all of our markets right now. It's very true. Like, since we joined this, I can't say I wouldn't say I'm a big Phoenix fan or Denver fan or Chicago, but I follow a lot more. Yeah. And I wish them well. The one Philly, I can't really support that too much. Hard to support Philly, but do what you guys do up there. But we hope this, just brings a new opportunity. There's several things that are coming along with it. We have a new merch line coming out with it. There's a whole community aspect that goes along with it as well, that we feel it's just a very important part to be part of the communities and build those communities, and do that through charitable organizations. We've done it with obviously our partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I got to have a great experience with our Cowboys host Jesse Holly's Christmas charity, and that was such a fun time. Obviously, you guys on this show and the Do It for Durrett Foundation have been such a great supporter of that, and we will do more with that moving forward. So, and part of the thing that you guys can do as diehards is we're going to put the stuff out there when we do these things, and we would love you guys to join us and help out and be a part of that too. It's sports can unite over the fandom, but sports can also unite us in moments of need and moments that are tough, and we can help out in a lot of ways. So there's a press release on our website. We'd love to read it at alldlls.com to have a little bit more information about what this whole initiative is. But it's just an exciting day. I'm glad I get to sit here and talk to you with it, because we have just so many sports memories, and I think a lot of mine revolve around Rangers. One thing I was thinking about doing is going around to the office and asking each one of us, when was our last, sports over everything obviously brings out a lot of emotion, and we all have a good sports cry. And asking each one of you guys, what was your last sports cry? And mine absolutely is this Rangers show, and it has to do with this team, and it's that moment of the World Series. And sitting there with my dad on the couch, and you saw the video that played before here with the fandom and everybody going nuts.
So great. Gave me chills again
when that strikeout happened, that embrace happened. The tears in my eyes welled up then. They also welled up outside when I was 30 seconds after the out. I ran downstairs, grabbed a bottle of champagne from my fridge, ran outside, and I doused it over my head. And that stuff, no goggles.
Oh, it's bad.
It burns. So I had sports tears then as well. But, there's a lot of moments with this team that in my lifetime have caused those emotions to run very tough and also run very, very wild.
Yeah, it's so great. And Leon remembers two things I wanted to bring up, Leon. When Fox Sports Southwest did the Astros, and when I first got over there, they put me on a bunch of Astros and Rockets, which I didn't mind a bit. The Astros were pretty good in those years. That was the Killer Bees and the Bagwell, Biggio, Berkman, and all that stuff. It was fun. Then Roger Clemens got down there and Andy Pettitte. They went to a World Series. I got to cover, I think it was the 05, right? 05 World Series against the White Sox. Didn't go real well for the Astros, but it was still fun being there. So, yes, I remember that. And also, Leon, I remember distinctly missing Adrian's 3,000th hit because I was in Cooperstown for Pudge's Hall of Fame induction. And so this story is so wild to me. Pudge and I did the show together on Fox Sports, and we became friends, and we had played golf together a few times here. And we go to Cooperstown, and we interview Pudge. It was the second time we did a long-form interview with him on the Friday before the Hall of Fame. And he says when we get done, "Come on, John, let's go play golf." I'm like, "Pudge, you're here to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm here to work." And I had some of the bosses with me. Flick was with me, kind of running roughshod. And we had a crew of about 5 or 6 people. We rented a house in Cooperstown. And so he goes, "Why? What work? What work do you got to do?" I said, "Well, among other things, I've got to interview your hero, Johnny Bench." He says, "When you interviewing Johnny?" And I said, "Welcome to my world, Pudge. They told us it would be sometime between 9 and 3. And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he leaves. 9:01, Johnny Bench walks in, right? And we do the interview, and then all of a sudden, Pudge is right back there. "Well, you can play golf now, John." And I look over at Flick, and Flick's like, "Go ahead." So off I went. Got to and the Pudge has a handler. I don't have my clubs. I don't have my shoes. Nothing. Pudge has a handler. He says, "Set John up on my cart with the clubs, get him balls. He needs a glove, everything." And he says, "Oh, okay, Mr. Rodriguez, that's great. And who are you playing with?" Tim Raines, who was going into the Hall of Fame that same weekend, and John Smoltz, who's a scratch golfer.
That's
a scratch frickin' golfer. And by the way, a guy who should have been a Detroit Tiger. I mean, I was so devastated by the trade for Doyle Alexander. Another story. Anyway, we go out and play. I wasn't sure I'd be able to draw the club back, Ben. I was so nervous with these guys. And there's a group of members from the Leather Stocking Golf Club in Cooperstown, New York, watching this. And when I hit it down the middle on the first tee, might have been my happiest sports. Like, I'm not a good athlete. My happiest athletic accomplishment ever, because that was, and then we had a great round. I shot for me, this is good. I shot 41 on the front side.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we started.
I was going to say, after that good drive right down the middle, that's when you pull the hamstring a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, no. I think I'll just walk the rest of this, but I could have done this the whole time, guys.
I'm that good. Yeah. So anyway, yes, I was there for that. And we come by all this stuff, honestly. One last story about why I'm such a sports fan. My dad and his college roommate were watching a Notre Dame game. I'm fairly fresh in the business, but I do sports, and I was down covering a Lions game out of Flint, Michigan, and I was down for the weekend at my parents', and they're watching a Notre Dame bowl game. I don't remember which one. I don't remember who the guy was. Somebody runs a kickoff back. Might have been Rocket. Runs a kickoff back for Notre Dame. We're in this drop ceiling room in my parents' house, and both my dad and his 6'5" college roommate leap up. Oh, rocket, rocket. And my 6'5" dad's college roommate hits the ceiling with his head, leaves a dent in the ceiling, and collapses to the floor. Oh. And I'm like down on the floor trying to help him. My dad's just focused on the TV, man. He's not even looking up. And I'm Dad, is this your buddy? This John Enright? What do we do? He says, he picks up his head, the 6'5" guy, picks up his head and goes, "Are there any flags?" That's all he cares about. I'm like, "Do you have a broken neck?" He's like, "Are there any flags?" And so that is, right? Oh, that is our passion.
I mean, I was at Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals, Mavericks-Lakers. And this was what, 87, 88. That first real run, that was the game that went to overtime. That's magic.
This isn't Moody Madness.
No, it's not Moody Madness. It's that old reunion. Okay. Game 7 sent them out west to finish it, but the Lakers, they lost Game 7 there, but that would have been their first shot to hit the NBA Finals. But my dad and I are sitting courtside, and it's literally, Mavericks side is Blackman, Harper, Davis.
Yeah.
It's the classic 80s Mavs.
Harpley? No, not yet.
Not yet. And but the Lakers side is Magic.
Yeah.
It's Worthy. It's Kareem. Yeah. And it's just, when you're watching that as a 9-year-old for the first time, and that just doesn't get out of your head. The way the fans were going nuts. I was on ESPN that night. I don't have, it's late 80s, so we don't have the tape of it, the recording of it. But the guy sitting there doing his hit from courtside, and my dad and I right behind him. We're doing the number one. Mom's at home watching. Get home, she said, "I saw y'all on TV, blah, blah, blah." We're chanting as fans, "Beat LA, we beat LA, we won LA," as we're going to the old parking garage next to Reunion. It's just echoing through the place. And yeah, it's just those moments that are just like, it's locked in forever. And like, this is me. This is what I do. This is what I'll do for the rest of my life. And hasn't stopped, and it won't stop. This is, and that's the beauty of what we do, because my wife is not the biggest sports fan in the world. So I do get to blame it if like, I got to watch the game. It's work. I got to go to the game. It's work.
I don't want to do this.
Trust me, it's because I've got to see it. I've got to watch it. I got to be there.
I got to do it. Yeah. It's a great thing that we got to get to do. And we do it really for you guys. We really do. We want to do this for you. We enjoy doing it for and with you. And we're going to continue to do this, and we'll get more to a normal baseball show here now as we go on. We're going to talk about what we found out yesterday. You ask and you shall receive, chatters. We found out exactly what the Rangers' Winter Carnival plans are. We shared those and talk a little bit about free agency this year next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Qualis Roofing, our favorites in the roofing world. I was just looking at my new roofs the other day, and they look so fantastic. It's one of those things. I tell people it's like getting new tires. Like, you get new tires, nobody notices. You spend a lot of money, nobody notices. People will notice your new roof, and especially you will. You'll feel a sense of security. You'll feel safe. You'll feel dry. And if you get it from Qualis Roofing, you'll feel happy, because they're the best in the area. They're local. They're only in the North Texas area and in the Austin area, and they do such a great job. If you just call them out for a roof inspection to find out if you have any problems, they'll give you one of these DLLS T-shirts, any one you want. And then if you get your work done by our friends at Qualis Roofing, well, you get a Traeger smoker or a Blackstone grill. Qualis Roofing GC to get your Qualis Roofing. And, of course, Prize Picks. One of the OGs in our sponsorship quiver here is sponsoring this program as well. And we want you to make those decisions that can get you paid. Every day, we all make decisions that are either right or either wrong. Well, if you're right with Prize Picks, you get paid. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states. You can even do this when you're traveling, at least in 40 of the 50 states. Prize Picks also offers wonderful withdrawals that are safe and fast. They are user-first, user-friendly. All you have to do is pick your team, 2 to 6 players, and then decide if they will achieve certain statistical categories. And if you're right on those thoughts, then guess what? You get paid. Prize Picks is one of our OG sponsors, and we're so glad to have them. You will love their app, too. Yeah, we're glad to have Skipper Ben in today.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing this. We got to do this. All right. Kat, I got one for you, Kat. Are you good? All right.
It's the boss. Look at this. How come she gets the big one?
She's the boss. She gets the big one. That's how it works. Hey, if we're doing this, we got to do it the right way.
That's right.
I forgot to tell you guys, though, it's the start of the year. Most businesses doing your year-end reviews. And so this is actually part of the review. I have to sit in on every show.
Oh, you do?
And personally
make sure
watch you guys do your work. So no pressure or anything, but this is.
I thought it might have been because of the review I got. It's like, okay, look here.
Remember when the principal used to sit in your classroom and evaluate the teacher? I feel like that today, but don't. No, we're here to have fun.
We've got to get in there and rein this guy in, man. Cheers and cheers to you, Kat, and all of you.
Grab one at home, guys.
Grab one, and take have a nice cold beer. You're right, Rarities. Ben didn't know he was going to be on, so he always has a DLLS shirt.
I do. I just want to go Rangers today,
but he went Rangers. So Anyway, but you're right, Rarities. We appreciate you, and T.O., you can grab an Ultra at the house if you want to. So anyway, let's talk about the Rangers for a couple of segments, and the whole FanDuel thing is like exploding again, and nobody better to talk about it than two guys who went through it, lived through it at Bally. And so glad we're not living through it now, I can tell you that. But anyway, that's in the next segment. This segment, we talk a little Rangers. And, of course, we got the cleanup segment coming, too. So we go normal, or fairly normal, from here on out with the skipper, Ben. And as just in case you joined late, Jeff's ill today. And so we're hoping.
I'm kind of liking this seat. I don't know, Jeff.
Jeff may be ill.
Jeff
may be ill for a while. No,
I don't want to go spring training. Maybe
hoping,
too. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hoping and praying that Jeff will be better soon. Although if he's not better tomorrow, we're going to have Dave Raymond here. So either way. So
if ratings go through the roof today, I'm just
saying, I see what you're saying. If we get a big number, we get a big number. Yeah, you're in charge of this stuff. So. So the Winter Carnival, everybody, we were talking about it yesterday, and we knew something was forthcoming. Jeff said that, and they announced it last night. There are 5 days. Kat, do you have a little graphic they sent out of the days of the Winter Carnival? I think it's from January 19th. There it is, and through the 25th. The 24th is the big day. Yeah. The 24th is the day of the Fan Fest. And so you've got a whole day of activity there. 24th is the only day in the new configuration to get autographs. And were you an autograph kid? I know you had sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you had sports cards in your life in your younger days.
Yeah, no, we went and hunted these things down. We were part of these deals. We went to spring training. I have a great story with me and Bouchel that I finally got to tell him like 2 years ago, where he spent 15 minutes with me signing everything that I could possibly have brought with me, and was just the coolest, nicest guy ever. Another one of those moments that just imprints on your rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it was cool getting to actually finally tell him that a couple years ago. And but yeah, no, we these kind of things are the things that my family live for and wait for those dates and who's going to be where and where, how do we get there and get those autographs. But the new kind of condensed schedule, especially for you and I coming from the old Bally day. I mean, this was when they did the caravan, you traveled with it. I was on the social team helping to cover that stuff. And it was a behemoth of a project every off season. And I look at that schedule. I'm like, that's different.
And it's fairly local. Now, you've got, I know on the 19th, and you'll have to check, their website has it, the dates of the other 2 events. On the 19th, there is an event there's an event that's not announced yet. That 4 to 5 that you see there in each of those, actually, the 4 to 5, I think, is at a Kroger. And so this, once again, I'll fall on the sword when I was wrong. I said to Jeff yesterday, so I guess the days of Academy and Kroger are over. No, Kroger said, no, they're not, John. We're in. So those are all going to be at Kroger somewhere in the Metroplex. They're not going to announce which Kroger until day of. And I think that's just because they don't want lines around the building of people. So anyway, They'll be at Kroger 4 to 5, but also on the 19th, they're going to be at Hurtado Barbecue. This is a paid event, a ticketed event, and it's a hot stove league show. I assume Jared or somebody from RSN, maybe Dave, will be hosting sort of a hot stove chat with various members. It's an hour and a half, and it's ticketed. And the reality is, you get Hurtado, for God's sake.
Doesn't the stove have to be hot, though, to have a hot stove show?
And we're going to get to that in just a minute. Yes, we are. I appreciate how you did that. That's a pretty good transition. Anyway, there's all your news about that. Let's transition into that. Kat, has it been a hot stove league this season? I don't know.
Weird,
are there
man.
any? Oh, there it is. There's the stove. Holy crap. It hasn't been hot at all. In fact, there's icicles on it. Yeah, it's been a weird free agent year. Now, look, we've been saying that for pretty much all of the 20s. You go all the way back to the 19 season. We mentioned this yesterday. All the way back to 19, Bryce Harper didn't sign. Bryce Harper didn't sign until early in spring training, right? Last year, Alex Bregman didn't sign until spring training. So many years lately, I don't know what it is. I don't know if teams are just trying to wait for that bargain, wait these guys out, whatever it is. There's a dynamic shift. There's a landscape shift
a trend
happening
at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think we are going into it is what it is.
Yeah.
You and I were going over upstairs. We're baseball starts. We have baseball playing next month. Like guys hit a field next month.
Yeah.
We're now. This is it. Back in the day, the list that we came up with, these guys got signed in the first 2 or 3 days. It was done. It was over.
It was like the NBA.
We're sitting here a month away from baseball starting, and there's a whole there's a playoff team of free agents still sitting
available
out there. Yeah, I mean, you can put
a
together
team we could field, and they would make the playoffs.
You have an outfield of Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, and Harrison Bader.
That's pretty good.
You can put Luis Ariz at first base.
Yep.
Bo Bichette at shortstop.
Okay.
Alex Bregman at third. JT Realmuto catcher.
Yeah.
We'll put Suarez at DH.
Okay.
Second base, we left second base a little weak, but we're gonna put Dylan Moore in there because he can literally play every position on the field. So
kind
he's
of a Josh
backing
Smith
up everything.
guy. Yeah.
And then you got a starting pitching staff of Fromber, Ranger Suarez, Zach Gallen, Zach Littell, and Lucas Giolito.
Jeez.
I mean, that's a playoff team. That team is winning a division, and they're sitting there free a month before the season starts. And so what's going to happen is what happened last year with Bregman, and I think it's going to happen again next year, and it's going to happen again next year. All these guys are going to get signed. They're all going to get signed for big money, but they're all going to have those opt-out years after one season, and we're just going to sit this over and over. We're going to sit here next offseason and be like, where's Bregman going to play after he plays his one season back in Boston? Does he do a 3-year deal with opt-outs in Chicago, whatever? These guys are going to sign deals. They're going to get their money. It's just not going to be those 7-8-year deals like we saw before with all those years locked in. And, you know, you saw it with down in Houston with a pitcher of my 3-year deal. Yeah. 3-year deal, opt-outs after. I guarantee that's not what Scott Boras was like telling him he was going to get going into the offseason. And that's the same kind of talk with any of these guys. They had big dollars, big dreams, big everything lined up, and you're just at that point of the season that I find it hard to see like an 8-year deal guaranteed where all these years are locked in for any of these guys. They're going to get their money. They're going to have like a long quote unquote term deal, but there's going to be the opt-outs in it so they can go back and try this all over again the next offseason. Yeah,
and to your point, both of the first 2 Japanese players who signed, which was Amai and Okamoto was the last, and who was the first, the Chicago White Sox, whichever guy they signed. Everybody thought they were going to get, 6, 7, 8-year deals.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting 3-year deals, 2 years in the case of the young man with the White Sox. And so, it is, it is a different landscape.
And all about Sports Zone. You are right. They are preparing for a possible lockout year. I get that. But also, once this starts to become the norm, like the owners are going to figure out the same thing. Like they don't have to guarantee all that stuff on their end either. They don't have to do those 8, 9, 10-year deals if they don't have to. I think there's a little bit of both. There's a little bit. I think they got aggressive with these crazy deals that whatever lockout or whatever ends up happening is going to reset that a little bit. And maybe it doesn't do all these 1 year by 1 year deals that we're seeing right now, but I do think it meets back in the middle in those insane deals. If the owners can get out of not having to do that, they won't do that.
Right.
They had to do it because that's what the players are demanding, and that's just how business was done. And I think there's a bit of a reset going on across the board with that too.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and it's not fun, right, to sit here a month before the season and not know where Kyle Tucker's going to be, or not know how the heck can JT Realmuto not have signed? I mean, he's the only decent catcher available out there, and I mean, it's just there's some crazy things happening in the game right now, and it's unfortunate, but it is somewhat tied to the topic that we will discuss next. And I see Benny talking about it right there. We appreciate you, Benny. But yeah, let's talk about FanDuel's problems and how do they relate to what's happening in the not so hot stove league. It's next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And it's time for us to remind you to become a supporter, as in Supporters Club. It's so great. It's really fun. This is Jeff and my week to put together one of our truly sicko level videos that you will see later in the week. We're going to tape it later. You'll probably see it maybe starting Thursday or Friday. We may have to involve a few other people in it. You don't know. I've got some ideas, but what's there is a surprise unless you pay the $15 or even $5 to become a member of our Supporters Club. And if you do that, then you get access to those videos. You also get the emojis that you saw there on the screen. It's just another way for you to say, hey, man, we support what you're doing. We love seeing all the medallions there in the chat because we know those are the guys and gals who are supporters of us. So thank you for that. And we know you're all supporters, but you can take it to the next level pretty easily by just becoming a member of the Supporters Club. Another thing that's super easy to do is subscribing to the newsletter. All you have to do that is go to our website, scroll down, and you'll find a box towards the bottom of the website that says, would you like to get our newsletter? And then how about is T.O. going crazy again?
Thank you,
gifted
T.O.
5 more.
Thank you, T.O.
T.O., we appreciate T.O.'s making it rain, Jake says. I appreciate that. And I talked to T.O. about that, by the way. He doesn't even know who gets them. He'd like to be able to give them to people who are in the chat with him at the time, but that's not how it works. He just gifts them to randoms. So good for you, T.O. As always, we appreciate you, and you will appreciate being a subscriber to the newsletter. Just sign up for it. Give us your email. We send you the newsletter every day in your inbox. It's a quick synopsis of what's happening in our sports world, written by the great writer for our Cowboys coverage, Ali. It's the newsletter, and it's in your inbox every day, DLLS. All right, so let us thank T.O. one more time, and let us get into this business about FanDuel. So I saw today, it was the first time I'd seen it since the first of the year, Ben, but the FanDuel, which I can't even remember, Happy Trails.
Main Street.
Main Street. That's it. Main Street. I knew it was something. Main Street. It should be Happy Trails. But anyway,
that's good.
That's the overall ownership group. Just as for a long time, or for a short time actually, Sinclair Television was our overall ownership group when we were at Bally. Prior to that, it was Fox and
News Corp. Yep.
Yeah, and News Corp, and that was big. So, and that was better. I mean, just so much better. I think we'd still be a thing if Fox had still owned us. But anyway, FanDuel, is not making their payments.
Nope.
They have 13 NBA teams, and they haven't made their January payment to any of those. Worse, they didn't make their December payment to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
So they are obviously completely strapped in financial peril. There is a deal with a British company called DAZN, D-A-Z, DAZN. Okay, D-A-Z-N is how it's spelled out, and it looks like they're ready to back out. Yeah. They have, and part of their deal is they've said if 10 of these major league teams, of which I think there are 29 right now, baseball, hockey, and basketball that are still with FanDuel. If 10 of them drop out, DAZN is out.
Yep.
Right? And I think they're going to lose 10. I think they're going to lose the, 7 baseball teams they have right now?
Yeah. I mean, the leagues are wanting that to happen.
Yeah.
The leagues
they are
want those rights back, which is good for the leagues. Not the best thing in the world for your teams.
Right. At least not right now.
Not right now, and I don't know if it'll change because, it was kind of going back to the model of baseball free agency and how contracts are done. Once this RSN model is broken and those local television checks disappear and all those rights get put back into one spot and you distributed by the league or by one distributor, it's hard to go back to the old model again. Like these teams have gotten used to having these massive rights fees checks for their local television that when you go back and do a lot of research, those team payrolls usually reflect very closely to whatever their local television contract was. And when those dollars would go up, their payroll would go up. Dollars go down, payroll went down. I think the Pirates were the one that were the biggest one when Root Sports Pittsburgh went away and those books kind of became open. It was like whenever they would get paid $41 million for their local rights fee for that season, their payroll was $39 million. Like it was right on the dot. And that went away several years ago. And obviously, like they've done a little bit better this offseason, but we've seen how the Pirates have paid over the last 6-7 years. There's no, you're gonna when those rights fees go down, you're gonna start seeing teams shed payroll and trade players and things like that. And I don't think there's a huge coincidence with what's happening with our local team. And I think there's other teams out there that are about to
try it,
have that same either try it on their own, which is not easy to do, or if they give those rights back to the league and then the league gives those to like an ESPN to distribute local television rights. That's great, but at that point they'll take all those teams that are part of that package, however many they sell, divide that up, and that's what your team's going to get. Like it's a true revenue. You have to actually go out there and sell your product. Whereas with the local television rights before, an RSM would just write a check at the start of the season, go, hey, here's your $90 million. Don't worry about TV or streaming all season long. Y'all go play baseball. We'll handle it. When those checks go away, rights are given back to a league or a team takes it over for themselves. That business model is all on them, and it costs a lot of money to acquire fans to sell your product. And, if you sell it, great, you'll have money to go spend. If you don't sell it, you're going to have a loss on the books, and then you got to figure out how to make that up. And sometimes that's through not paying people as much as they paid before.
And I know that this is not the NFL, but help me here. Why wouldn't it work similarly? Now, we still think two things. We think at least the Yankees and the Dodgers will never be a part of the teams that MLB has control of. Let's just say the other 28 are, right? And ESPN becomes their distributor for both the over-the-air rights and the streaming rights. Why can't ESPN's money to each team be commensurate to what it used to be under Bally?
Your example, you answered your own question. How big do you think that NFL rights deal would be if the NFL said, you've got every team but the Cowboys? I mean, who drives the ratings on the NFL side? When you look at that top 10 list, when you look at the most watched, it's Cowboys. Why are they on every holiday? Why are they this and that? So if you go out with an MLB package, go, hey, you got all these teams. You got the Tampa Bay Rays. You got the Marlins. You got the Kansas City Royals.
Don't forget the Brewers.
You got the Brewers. What about the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers? Nope. You're not getting any of those. You don't have those. Nope. Okay. But everybody else, you got. know that's what happens is when you start peeling those off, the money just keeps going down and down and down. It's also, especially when you go all streaming and things like that, it's just a true dollars and cents. Like you actually know the conversion rate. You know how many people signed up. You know what the subscribers are. You know how much those subs cost. It's a business model too. Like at some point, the ESPN's got to make money on this too. So they know that number they can pay. That makes sense for them to do this and distribute, and then whatever that number is just divided up. But yeah, when you take the pinnacle teams of a team of anything away, same with the NBA package. Hey, you can have everything, but you can't have the Lakers and the Knicks, and you can't have the tentpole teams. Then the package just is not nearly as attractive, and the dollars correlate with that.
Okay, and so while we're on this subject, why
and you did hit it right? Red Sox probably with Nesson. That one's not spoken as much, but yeah, you're probably right. You take the Red Sox out of that as well. That's just another one that's
so you'd
gone.
have the Red Sox, the Yankees, and you might have the Cubs. So you'd have Red Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets, and then possibly the Cubs.
And you probably have to look at Toronto with
with
deal.
Rogers. Yeah.
Now you're really winding it down to
so now you're down to 25
the average teams, the middle teams, and they're not the major ones.
And there have been talks about this saying another team that's not going to be a part of the Major League Baseball thing is the Rangers.
Yep.
Now, the question would then become whatever money it is, because obviously the ESPN model is going to give, there's going to be revenue to every team in some form or fashion, right? Would the ESPN money that they provide be greater than what the Rangers can make through their own efforts at RSN?
And us not knowing those RSN numbers, that's hard to say, but I think you'll know your answer when they finally
which way they go.
The offer, and so it's kind of like with free agency again. This is a bit of a reset because the teams were obviously getting paid way more than what their rights were actually worth.
Right,
and it was done that way for 30 years, and teams got spoiled with it. This is whatever they end up getting paid, however the dust settles, whatever works out here is really what their rights are really worth, and that's you're seeing it with the free agency that teams are going, how much do I actually have to spend on a player? How much do I actually have to spend on payroll before I have to start taking out of my own pocket to cover these things? And owners don't like to pay out of their own pockets.
No, they don't. And that, like say the Rangers are one of the teams mentioned with those other 5 that may not be a part of the MLB package because they're the only team right now that's been brave enough to do their own regional sports network. So answer me this one then, Ben, because I think they should be able to make as much money. So all those years at Bally, and I love Dave Myers, our main accounting man. And every year we would have a meeting at Bally, and he would say, we're making so much money, we don't even know what we're doing. We're making money hand over fist. And all the employees are sitting there, and I'm kind of going, how about a little something for the effort here, Dave? If you're making all that money, how about a little money for old John here, And I was always surprised he said that, but he said it for years on end. So why can't the Rangers Sports Network do that same thing?
So the reason we were making so much money back then is because the model was different on the distribution side too.
Okay.
We were getting so much money from the DirecTVs, the Dish Networks of the world, and every other cable company you can think of. And you notice when he stopped saying that as much is when cord cutting came into the lexicon.
Big. Okay.
And as that happened and our sub fees from the distributors went down, that's when the math on the RSN side started getting screwed up real bad. Yes, there were a time that the RSNs could absolutely afford, hey, here's $120 million, Rangers, for the entire, go have fun, and we're going to make money on that. But as subs, especially on your satellites, went down and down and down, the RSNs were losing money on every one of those contracts. And that's why even with something like RSN with the Rangers, their distribution is, they have a deal with DirecTV, but it's a much smaller deal. And that's why teams back then, because the RSNs had the relationships with all the distribution companies, the teams never fought back. They're like, yes, we'll give you our rights because we don't want to have to sit there and make a deal with DirecTV, with Dish Network, with Charter, with Spectrum, with Comcast.
Yeah.
Because those deals and those negotiations are a massive, massive headache and a massive strain, and it's very expensive to just have an office of people that sit there and just do contracts with distribution companies. So that's why they can't ever get back to that.
So
model.
they're not going to be able to make money like we made at Bally or at Fox.
Nobody can. It's not just them.
Yeah.
Nobody can.
That's interesting. So it's a conundrum. The Cardinals, I see since this news came out with FanDuel today, have said we're ready to put 162 games over to MLB.
Yep.
Which is what 5 teams have already done.
Yeah.
And that's MLB's dream. And the NBA has the same dream. The NBA would like to get all of them in. Again, I'm sure there's going to be teams that aren't going to give up their local rights.
Well, that's the interesting thing, though. A couple of these teams, especially on the MLB side, you had the Diamondbacks and the Padres with the first 2 that left the Fox Bally portfolio. MLB took over their broadcasts, so nobody missed a game.
Right.
They picked them right up. They had it. But we have info, like we've through channels that as things came up, as Bally, as Bally went down, but then they came out of bankruptcy, or they had this backing, or something else would get launched, those teams would inquire and be like, can we get back? Like MLB was fine for the making sure people saw the game, but is there a deal to be had? So they would always talk. They would always get out there. You'd always hear like, oh, the Diamondbacks are looking to get back in the RSN business. There's a reason behind that, because the dollars weren't great. But the only time we did have Manfred at one point go out with what the subs were for the Padres local streaming, and it was several thousand, less than 100,000, tens of thousands. I can't remember the exact number. But for any of us that sat there, we quickly went, okay, that sub number times, it's $14.99 a month. Oh my God, they're only making like $1 million. And this was a team that was making like $90 million off their RSN deal. Like, it's just you can do the easy math real fast on it. And so that's why I think like an RSN, I hope they do well. Hope that we have a lot of friends there. It's great. We watch it like here. We want them to do fantastic. But I do think if a package happens with an ESPN or something, the Rangers will sit there and go, Willie's here. What is the proposal? What is the deal? And then they'll make the decision that whatever makes them the most money is the deal that they'll go with.
which is wise by them. Yeah. Right? I mean, at some point, if you're not making the money you thought you could with the RSN, you stop beating your head against the wall if you have the opportunity to do that. So very interesting perspective from the boss on that, who's been deeper inside than I have on some of this stuff. So anyway, we'll continue to watch that, talk about it. And I'm with everybody that's saying, I'm so glad the Rangers have the RSN. In fact, if they had stayed with FanDuel, like if FanDuel had been, I might have, even Ben's one that came to me and said, would you like to come over to DLLS? And at the time, I knew Bally was going under, and so I'm like, yes, I would. But if there was this carrot of FanDuel being a part of the future, I might have said, you know what, let me just stay here and see how it goes. I think they'll be okay. And now I'd be going through all the same crap again. So thank you, and thank Bally for dying here. Otherwise, who knows? I may still be lingering like the poor people in St. Louis. All right, we got more to do. It's the boss. I'm allowed to go a couple minutes over on these segments because I got the boss here. Or maybe I'm not. Yeah, I'll see if it's the boss and somebody besides Jeff and not me tomorrow. Yeah, it's Dave Raymond and the skipper tomorrow. You'll know I got in trouble. Anyway, the cleanup segment coming next. So we want you to become a diehard. You can't beat the value of being a diehard. I think there's still deals out there. I don't even know. I haven't looked lately, but I know this. No matter what the price, you can't beat the deal of being a diehard. You get all the written content that is behind our paywall, and it is expertly written stuff, right? We've got stuff from, Clarence, who's been around the Cowboys beat for 29 years. Like, they check with him as to when the press conferences will be. Yes. They call Clarence. Is that a good time for you, Clarence? I mean, maybe not quite that, but he's been around forever. And we've got Ali in support of him there. We've got a young Ron Harad Jr. who's taking care of our Mavs beat. Sam's doing a great job with the Stars. He's doing a better job than the Stars are right now, frankly, as they struggle a little bit, but they'll be fine. And then, of course, Jeff. I mean, Jeff's been around their Rangers beat for almost 2 decades now. So all that stuff's available, plus 20% off merchandise. 20% off any of the events that we have, and we're planning to have more.
We should have a Rangers event this season.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. You're hearing it right now.
That's it.
We will have a Rangers event or 2 or 3 this season.
That's going to be done right there.
Diehards get first access to it. Diehards get a discount on the tickets. It's worth it right there just to have that early shot, because we have had the diehard events, and they sell out. The ones that go to the diehards first sell out like that. They
sell out. So join, become a diehard. And if you do, you also get a free T-shirt, which isn't a bad deal. And all our T-shirts and all of our merchandise is available at store.allcitynetwork.com. There's some new shirts coming that will have the feel of our new brand, of our new motto. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some sports over everything stuff available very soon. Is it out there yet? Do you know? Not yet, maybe?
I don't know yet.
Not yet. We're supposed to get some. We might get some before you guys.
It's here. Yep.
It's coming. So anyway, sports over everything, store.allcitynetwork.com. All right.
Rads, I want to do an event at a Rough Riders game when we go in the Lazy River.
Oh, my gosh. Do I ever.
We're doing that this summer.
Yeah,
we are doing that. We can broadcast from up there, but we need to just everybody, all the diehards chilling in the Lazy River for a game. That's going to happen.
Floating around the Lazy River. Maybe a few of these floating with you.
More than a few.
Yeah.
More than a few.
Mm-hmm. By the way, he stocks the refrigerator when we have the diehard events up here, too. And I know this is a fine sponsor of ours. They do our Mavs show, right?
They do our Mavs show.
Yeah, so, and we're working on getting them or another one, Troy Aikman, 8 Beer, somebody.
Anybody.
To be our Rangers sponsor.
Yeah, it's sports guy TO. Yes, while we actually have some interesting things coming up, maybe with Wild Fork in the office and watching some games, and we could do that with Rangers too. So just be on the lookout. We will announce some really cool stuff coming up. I've got a Stars one I'm working on right now.
Good.
So you absolutely want to be a diehard on that one because it will be gone in minutes when I drop it in the Discord. And
stand by for me, old Rads, to give a gift to Dave Raymond tomorrow. Yesterday. I'm going to give him one yesterday. No, I'm going to give it to him tomorrow. And it's Wild Fork.
Can I answer for rarities real quick? I think it's been dropped in there a couple times. If they're smart, they would, because I think you get some good value out there on some guys that are still sitting on the market. So I think you can get creative with contracts right now. My gut says they won't do that, but the fan in me, the sports over everything guy, is like, please get somebody, get something done. Just give me something to get excited about.
I know we don't know the budget, but Jeff and I have said on the show many times, we hold out hope because they've saved some money. We know they saved $11 million just on the Nimmo trade, right? And at least in the short term. Long term, it's going to cost them a little more because Brandon's got 2 more years than Marcus Semien did. But worry about that then. In the short term, they saved $11 million there, plus all the different contracts they've cut, right? So there's money. They haven't spent nearly as much as they've gotten. So even with a smaller budget, can they get Zach Gallen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you?
Right. That's what we keep coming up with.
The thing that scares me is I think this team needs a little bit more offense. We're coming off a Cowboy season where the offense was awesome.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay attention to the defense at all.
Right.
I do not want to waste the final years of Nate, of DeGrom, of the pitching staff that we have, and then have this offense that just cannot match what we have on the pitching staff. Not saying we have the 5 best starters in baseball, but we have a solid pitching staff. You can add a little piece to it to make them a really, really good pitching staff. But there's a bat or two out there that can still be had that get them on, especially DeGrom. DeGrom's got 2 years left on his deal. You can get a guy on a 2-year deal, or get him on a 1 year with an opt out if you want to do that. But pay the money, get it on the books for this year. You don't have to commit long term, but get that offense a little bit stronger to match what you have with the pitching staff. Because I think we'll all sit here really depressed and sad if we have just another one of these amazing seasons from DeGrom, from Evo, and then you're sitting there going, but the guys can't hit worth a lick, and we're stuck.
No, and it's why we didn't quibble with the Rangers trying to improve their lot and improve themselves as a team at the trade deadline last year.
Yeah, no.
When you have that kind of pitching, and you're still flirting with 500, I think at the time, you got to try and go all in. And I shouldn't say all in. They didn't try to go all in, but they tried to get better. They had a better trade deadline this past year than they did the year before, based on the fact that this pitching staff was doing historic things and continued to do historic things throughout the season. So, are you? I'm sure you are, Ben, because you're up to speed on everything. You up to speed on this Las Vegas Athletics? Athletics.
It's kind of awesome.
So yesterday we didn't know. We just figured it was somebody out there who had gotten the trademark, and it's that group that was so vocal against the move and everything, and it's just this. They're called Last Dive Bar, which I don't even know if it's really a bar. I think it's just an organization that didn't want the team to move. And look at they got the trademark. Yeah, how about that?
That's so funny.
It's so
and
great.
It does make sense a bit. That organization, like, how do you? That's the first thing that. So pulling the curtain back even more, like as we're launching DLLS.
Yeah.
And you're going to a market. The first thing you do is go acquire like marks and sit on things yourself. Even if you end up not launching that thing, you have it for this exact kind of situation. Because if you don't have it, somebody else is going to go get it, and they'll end up getting it. It's just going to cost them a hell of a lot of money to go get it.
They're going to have to go buy it from last dive.
So for this, for years, I guarantee the Athletics didn't just wake up one day and go, let's move to Vegas. Like that had been in the works, been in the plans. They knew what they're doing. The first thing they should have done was like, hey, is Las Vegas Athletics available? We need to go get that like just right now and just have it. And if we never do anything with it, we at least have it. So for this to happen is, especially to that organization who just seems to have done a lot of stuff backwards for years, it's kind of funny.
It is. And I saw a news report online from back when they applied. They were still in Oakland. It was a San Francisco station. Yeah. I think it might have been our friends at KRON. But anyway, they did a news story that said, so today the Athletics applied for and got the rights or trademark rights to Sacramento Athletics. And at the same time, they were asking for Las Vegas Athletics, and that was already taken. Come to find out, they did their research. It had been taken. This was during the season at some point, probably their last season. Yeah. It had been taken just in March of that year. It hadn't even been that long ago. And good for those guys at the last dive. If they make some money off of this.
We should go acquire like Seattle Rays or
what about the Montreal Rays?
Montreal Rays, yeah. Let's go wherever we think Tampa could end up. As diehards, we'll all pool our money together and we'll go buy a bunch of Rays trademarks. Yeah. And if we hit, we hit, guys.
The thing is, the athletic gamblers, I don't mind that. But
it's pretty good.
They're not going to change, Cordua. They're not going to change from athletics because it's so tradition-rich and historic, going all the way back to Philadelphia and Connie Mack, right? Yeah. So athletics is going to be sacred. Rays, they could change, right? We'll go up there and spend the money to we'll get the damn Montreal Rays. We'll go up there and they'll go, we don't care about Rays anyway.
There's a lot of Stingrays in Montreal. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Come on.
You can have Rays. We don't care. We're going to change something. Yeah, Nashville Rays.
That'd be a good one.
Idea. Rarities. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, that's a cool, fun story. Cubs are in the process of acquiring Edward Cabrera and from Miami, of course. Yep. And we don't know exactly what's back yet, but what did we hear?
You're hearing Cassie, right?
Yeah,
Cassie. Yeah, pretty solid prospect for the Cubs. So makes that a really interesting pitching staff in Chicago. It's another team that if why they haven't finished Tucker or are they in on Bregman or that's a team that you add a bat or two to go with. Shota Managa, Matthew Boyd had a freaking fantastic season last year. If Cabrera can stay healthy, that's the big risk on him. But it seems like a pretty fair trade to bring him in. And if he is healthy, that rotation's pretty Jameson Taillon as well up there. That's a pretty nasty rotation.
Yeah, but they definitely need to get something done with either Bregman or bring Bellinger back or something. They're working, and they seem to be kind of in on all this, but nothing's getting done yet.
Yeah, no, Suzuki had a great season last year, but that's like the first healthy season he's had in 3, and so they've got some good pieces up there. But if they don't come back with a Tucker, if they don't go get a Bellinger, if they don't go get that stud piece, I think you're kind of looking at a Ranger situation where why did we invest so much in this staff when you have no offense to go on?
Another underachieving team. So I'd love that.
I'd love that
Jake.
too.
I would love that, Jake, for Sandy Alcantara. But I don't.
Be fun.
I think they just want so much, right?
Yeah, the pieces that we'd have to give up on that would just not be appealing to me at all. And so
you just have to give up so much for something like that. Clayton Kershaw is going to do studio work for NBC this year.
Very cool.
And I see that Jason Benetti, my buddy from Detroit, who's just a great announcer, he's going to be. It looks like, I don't think it's done yet for either one of these guys, but Peacock and NBC are working on. You see the other thing that they're going to do? They're going to make it possible. They're going to have an option where viewers, I'm about to cry again, can mute the announcers.
No. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I mean, unless you're doing play-by-play on DLLS feeds, why would you do that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no. You just gave me an idea.
Cat rolled her eyes at me just now. I saw that. I saw the eye roll.
That I don't like, and also, but I do like this one. They're also going to allow you to be able to control the crowd noise, because I think sometimes our A1s and A2s who are out there, and we love Malcolm and Toast and everybody, but they get a little crazy on the crowd noise.
They can do whatever they want there. NBC Peacock can do whatever they want with the streaming and give those options and stuff on there. If they give us a 10 p.m. Rangers start, like they gave us a 10 p.m. Mavericks start last night, though, out the window. That was awful. Kings Mavericks at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Right? What are they thinking?
Welcome to the East Coast people who are dealing with that all the time.
No, just so Peacock, stay away from 10 p.m. So I know baseball moves a lot faster now. I can probably get it in the same window of an NBA game, but don't freaking do that. I don't want Athletics Rangers 10 p.m. start.
No,
because that post game show would be a little bonkers. DLLS after dark.
We'd have to do it. Yeah. So anyway, great job, Ben. It's National Bobblehead Day, by the way. That's why we have the bobbleheads out here. Very Ben did a great job today. And of course, we'll leave you with our favorite bobblehead.
Got one thing to say, everybody was wondering what would happen if the Rangers didn't win the World Series. I guess we'll never know.
Mic drop. Yeah, great job, Ben. Thank you so much for filling in. We may bring Ben in again tomorrow when Dave's here. We may bring Ben in every day now. He likes this seat, so we'll see. But,
sorry, Jeff.
Get well, Jeff. And we will see all of you again tomorrow. Don't forget, Dave Raymond here, even if Jeff's not. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
Sports over everything.
We all silly like the mayor.